Welcome, everyone. And thank you for being here in love and support of Cody Morgan's special day. Today is a celebration of love, of commitment, of friendship, of family, and of two people who have decided to share their lives together. Now, technically, you don't have to do this whole ceremony thing, but you could just go to the courthouse and sign some paperwork. But a courthouse over a family vineyard, I think not.
No break.
Regardless of the vino, the ceremony is a marriage. The ceremony of marriage is found across every culture, religion, generation, society. Its symbolism is so fundamental to who we are that it's one of the few moments in life where friends and family gather from all over to celebrate. No matter who you are, where you come from, or what you believe, we all know what it means to love. Standing here today, we are especially reminded that the ability to love is the very best part of our humanity. It's an honor to be asked to officiate a wedding, and an even greater honor to officiate my sister's wedding. I can't promise I won't have a few teary-eyed moments, especially when seeing Cody cry, because she's already crying. Now, I've known Cody for a while now, give or take 34 years. Our relationship started off like most brother and sister relationships do, volatile and painfully antagonizing. She played the role of the older, cooler, smarter captain of a cheerleading squad sister, while I was the little hockey-playing shithead who would pick up the phone while Cody was talking to her boyfriends and fart into the microphone. Yeah, Jesse was not exempt either, but at least Cody didn't chase me around with a butcher knife. More on that later. Time heals all, though, and it wasn't until fall of 2009, here on this very property, down in the porch swing of the cabin, a decision was made which transformed Cody and I's lives forever. I was graduating college the following year, and Cody was looking to get out of Chicago. Thanks to Marissa's lovely Brooklyn apartment, we decided to become roommates in New York City. It was at that Park Slope apartment that Cody and I went from brother and sister to best friends. Having 3 a.m. bodega sandwiches, picnics at Prospect Park, and most importantly, celebratory sex. Yes, believe it or not, Cody was a smoker. And she would find any excuse to celebrate something just so she could justify the toxic puff. That said, these celebratory cigs became something we both look back on and cherish, because it was where Cody and I would find ourselves in deep conversations. From bitching about producers on the show we were working on, to running through tattoo ideas, which still have not come into fruition, to therapy sessions of life's most difficult moments. We became each other's shoulder to cry on. Through these conversations, we began to understand how similar our brains work with both creativity and sensitivity. We spoke through our struggles with dating life and relationships. I saw the ascent and descent of boyfriends in her life, none of which were really hitting the mark. I saw the struggles Cody had when it came to commitment, and I saw Cody's never-ending quest to figure out her own mind, which took her all the way to India and back, and then back to India. My belief is that this sacred scar of hers and her quest to find answers was the mud in which a beautiful lotus flower would grow. Enter Morgan Intrator. A tall, handsome, motorcycle-driving, hockey-playing, software engineering dreamboat with the deepest voice this side of Mississippi. Too good to be true? Apparently not.
I'll take it.
I remember the first night I met Morgan. It was dinner at an Ethiopian spot in Cobble Hill. Vivian and I put him to the test, hooking him up to a lie detector machine and asking him what his plans were with my sister. Luckily, he passed. Over the next couple of months, I got to know Morgan. I began to get a sense of his patience, seeing how he reacted to the unwanted name of Momo. I saw his determination with his willingness to debate anything until the other person collapses of exhaustion. I saw his sense of humor, or lack thereof, always taking videos when he's supposed to be taking a photo. But more than anything, I saw a change in Cody. I saw the way that she looked at him I've never seen before. The smiles he brought out of her were so raw. Oh, wow.
Good teamwork.
Carry on.
Okay. All right.
Good aim.
Okay. More than anything, I began to see a change in Cody. The way she looked at him, I've never seen before. The smiles he brought out of her were so raw and unfiltered, it was contagious. I saw how his attention was fully on Cody, like nothing else mattered in the world. How it was his endless quest to make Cody laugh with his dad joke-like zingers. Or how he always found a way to embrace Cody with a back rub, or the small pinches he does to annoy Cody when she's talking to somebody. It's these little details I kept observing that made me realize this guy's different from the rest. As we all know, Cody and Morgan took a long break. It was hard to see Morgan out of the picture, but of course I will always support whatever Cody chooses. That said, last year Vivian threw me an amazing surprise birthday with friends popping out of every corner. Alas, out popped Cody screaming, "Surprise!" The shock I first experienced pales in comparison to the jaw-dropping moment of Morgan popping out behind her after not seeing him in 10 months. As much of a mind clusterfuck it was, hearing Morgan's baritone voice again, it didn't come close to how happy I was to see the two of them together again. I saw that same smile on Cody's face I hadn't seen in almost a year. Cody and Morgan's last few months in Los Angeles are memories Vivian and I will cherish forever. Cali Fam will always be our text group name. And our quarantine Thanksgiving and Christmas, this might be our favorite of all time. Sorry. Coco and Momo, you guys inspire me every day with your dedication, not only to one another, but also supporting each other's individual passions, hobbies, Hare Krishna chants, and all. It's been such a pleasure watching your relationship evolve to today and how happy you make one another. I love you both so much, and I can't wait for what's to come. Now enough about my feelings.
Where's Jerry?
Well, Jerry. Everyone gathered here was invited because you also played a special role in Cody and Morgan's lives. You are here specifically to witness their vows to each other, followed by many, many, many glasses of wine. I have one favor to ask. Will all of you gathered here do all in your power to support, strengthen this union and in the years ahead? If so, respond, hell yeah.
Hell yeah!
Fantastic. So as we all know, Cody is one to have a little witchcraft up her sleeve. So one of her favorite rituals is to charge her crystals by the moon and keep them under her pillow for good juju. You can now occasionally find one under Morgan's pillow too. So in that vein, tonight just happens to be a full moon. And while I don't have a crystal in my pocket, I also happen to have Cody and Morgan's wedding dance in my pocket. It's widely believed that precious metals hold energy. So something Cody and Morgan would like to do today is pass around their rings. And as we continue the ceremony, we encourage each of you to briefly hold the rings and warm them with your blessings, prayers, and some good witchy juju. When it comes time to exchange them, the rings will have been supercharged. Not just by the moon, but by the love and support of the closest family and friends. So, I will pass it here. Okay, so in the meantime, while those are being passed around, we have some words about what love means from some of the people who love them the most. We're going to start off with Morgan's mother, Marissa, who will join us now to read.
Well, I hope I don't cry. I hope I don't cry. I don't hear myself.
We do. You're on
Okay.
now.
Well, for myself, I wanted to say something existentialistic. I wanted to say a lot existentialistic. And I'm not going to quote Antoine de Saint-Exupéry, who was my favorite optimistic existentialist. But here we go. Behind all seen things lies something vaster. Everything is but a path, a portal, or a window opening on something other than itself. They knew now that if there is one thing one can always yearn for and sometimes attain, it is human love. Albert Camus. That was for me. That was all I got. This is for Cody. The 7 Hindu wedding steps. Nourish each other. Be each other's strength. Prosper and stay faithful. Love and respect for families. Care of children. Live a healthy and peaceful life. And bond of friendship and loyalty. This is for Morgan. Well, for everybody. Morgan and Cody. Let's see if I can read this. As spring unfolds the dream of the earth, may you bring your hearts to birth. As the ocean finds calm in view of land, may you love the gaze of each other's mind. As the wind arises free and wild, may nothing negative control your lives. As kindly as moonlight might search the dark, so gentle may you be when life grows scarce. As surprised as the silence that music opens, may your words for each other be touched with reverence. As warmly as the air draws in the light, may you welcome each other's every gift. As elegant as dream absorbing the night, may sleep find you clear of anger and hurt. As twilight harvests the day's color, may love bring you home to each other.
Thank you. And next we're going to have Cody and my mother, Cindy, come up for a read.
The invitation. It doesn't interest me what you do for a living. I want to know what you ache for, and if you dare to dream of meeting your heart's longing. It doesn't interest me how old you are. I want to know if you will risk looking like a fool for love, for your dream, for the adventure of being alive. It doesn't interest me what planets are squaring your moon. I want to know if you can sit with pain, mine or your own, without moving to hide it, or fade it, or fix it. I want to know if you can be with joy, mine or your own, if you can dance with the wildness without cautioning us to be careful, to be realistic. It doesn't interest me if the story you are telling me is true. I want to know if you can disappoint another to be true to yourself. It doesn't interest me to know where you live or how much money you have. I want to know if you can get up after the night of grief and despair, weary and bruised to the bone, and do what needs to be done to feed the children. It doesn't interest me who you know or how you came to be here. I want to know if you will stand in the center of the fire with me and not shrink back. It doesn't interest me where or what or with whom you've studied. I want to know if you can be alone with yourself and if you truly like the company you keep in the empty moments. I want to know if you can see beauty every day, even when it's not pretty. I want to know if you can live with adversity, yours and mine, and invite it and stand at the edge of the mountain and shout to the silver of the full moon, I do.
Thank you, Mom. Lastly, Cody's sister, my sister, Jessie, then I'll sing a song that you might be familiar with.
Hello? Hi? Can you hear me?
Yep.
Yeah? Okay, cool. All right. He is now to be among you at the calling of your heart. Rest assured this troubadour is acting on his part. The union of your spirits here has caused him to remain. For whenever two or more of you are gathered in his name, there is love. There is Oh, a man shall leave his mother, and a woman leave her home. They shall travel on to where the two shall be as one. As it was in the beginning, is now until the end. Woman draws her life from man and gives it back again. And there is love. There is love. Well, then what's the good reason for becoming man and wife? Is it love that brings us here, or love that brings us life? Well, if loving is the answer, then who's the giving for? Do you believe in something that you've never seen before? That is love. Oh, that is love.
Let's do this.
Yeah.
Cody and Morgan, you fell in love by chance and Bumble. But you're here today because you're making a choice. You've chosen to be with someone who brings out the best in you, who makes you think, who makes you smile, who makes every day a little bit brighter. You're going to vow to take care of each other, to stand up for one another, to build a happy and playful life together, which definitely includes pilgrimage to India, just FYI. Cody and Morgan have both written vows. They will be reading to each other. So with that said, I will hand the floor to Morgan and take it away.
Cindy, they're in the folder.
Oh, I think.
Where's the folder?
You, Cody, as I've gotten to know you the last 4.5 years, I've also gotten to know myself a lot better. And for that, I promise I will forever be grateful. As I've come to know your needs and your desires, I've come to know my own. Knowing more about what drives you and what drives me makes us a good team. I promise that I will wake up and want to know how I can help you have a great day every day. And I'll communicate to you the ways that you can help me have one too. I've come to understand some of your triggers, your sensitivities, and I have become more aware of mine. When previously I thought I had none. I promise that I'll continue to learn how to name and maybe tame my own emotions. That's a Jerryism. More importantly, I'll call out when I'm angry or hurt, as best as I can. And I will prompt you and expect you to do the same. After today, there will be fights. But I promise you we can begin and end any argument totally sure that I am committed to you and you are committed to me. And that there won't ever be consequences for our disagreements. I've learned about the ways you show and receive love, and how I do too. And I promise I will use this knowledge to build an ever deeper connection to you. All this learning that I've done about you and about me, it's just the beginning. You're a beautiful, strong-willed, thoughtful, creative, complex woman. It's a good thing because I've got the rest of my life to figure you out. And figure me out too, in the process. And I promise that prospect really excites me. And it incites me with a passion that grows day by day. A wise man once said that the secret to a healthy, loving relationship is to coordinate emotions and intentions. Yep. That was hard for me to do once, because emotions and deep intentions just weren't for me. Or I pushed them down and turned it off, you know. So what a shallow life, I think, in hindsight. And that's what I discovered in our time apart. What crystallized for me was just how fuller my life could be, with some emotion and intention. I was finding that in the aftermath of our breakup, I was connecting with people in a way that I hadn't ever before. With my family, while we were renovating Caitlin's house, and I was getting real with my friends, and I was discovering my intentions. I was living this fuller life, and realized very quickly that I wanted to have that fuller life with you. So since last year, we've been coordinating our intentions and emotions so well, moving, planning an intimate wedding, expeditiously starting new jobs, making new friends. And in June, I found something I really wanted also. My intention to be with you became outright conviction. And that's what I felt proposing to you. And that's what I'm feeling today, right this minute. that conviction that I'm happier than I'll ever be when I'm coordinating my intentions and emotions with you. So, I said that 3 times. I didn't count that. So it's my promise and my conviction that I love you and I will always love you. And I will forever be grateful to have you on my team and to be on yours.
Too early.
Morgan. So I tried to be really cute with these vows. I tried to make funny quips, insert hilarious memories, be super punchy. But alas, every time I did, it kept ending up feeling like a performance piece. And I'll be damned, the most important love letter of my life was written trying to entertain the masses. So after several failed attempts at making these vows make sense for everyone else, I finally decided they only needed to make sense for one person. So here it goes. I wouldn't be standing up here if it wasn't for you. Now that seems quite obvious considering I needed you to propose to me to have a wedding in the first place. That's not what I'm talking about. Morgan, you changed me. You changed what I thought about marriage. You changed what I thought about relationships, about love. I think you know this. Before meeting you, relationships were something far different for me. They were tumultuous, they were dramatic, they turned my life upside down and inside out, all for the rush of what some people call love. It was all consuming and absolutely exhausting, and I knew, and it was all I knew. I lived in fear of long-term commitment, fear of hurting someone, fear of being hurt, fear of being seen, fear of diminishing my own fire, fear of finding myself stuck somewhere I didn't want to be, and fear of the altar. So I spent most of my adult life trying to be the most independent solo act of a woman, and it worked. And then there you were, sitting across from me one unseasonably warm night in January on a very last-minute Bumble date. At first, I didn't even know how to describe our relationship to anyone because it was so easy, so simple, so innocent. The drama non-existent. You saw me as I was, a neurotic, introverted extrovert who thought of herself as a half-willed woman, half-witch who liked to chant Hare Krishna and listen to spiritual music and was super dogmatic and crazy about the way she liked to cook in her kitchen. And you loved me still. I felt seen and at the same time adored. One of my biggest fears was that I was going to lose my independence when I got into a relationship, lose my edge, abandon all the things I had so carefully cultivated in the years I was alone. You've taken none of these things from me. You didn't flinch when I asked if I could go to India for weeks and weeks at a time, or Indonesia, or India again. You not only listen to my crazy bhakti music, you sing with me in the living room and tell me I need to start my own kirtan band. You not only support my career path, you've pushed me towards some of the biggest job opportunities of my life that I otherwise would not have had the balls to take. I didn't need to hide my moon deck or my crystals or my Ayurveda or my year-round Christmas lights all over the damn place. You said, this is fucking fantastic, keep going. And when I told you over and over again my fears of long-term commitment, you did not run. You listened. And somehow, you didn't take it personally. You're strong like that. I've never met a man as strong as that. I felt heard, and because you lovingly and patiently held a mirror to me and my fears, I could see them for the ghosts that they were. Because you created a space for me to speak my truth, I could begin the process of healing. Morgan, you're the most generous, selfless, trustworthy, authentic person I know. You could give a shit about what other people think of you, something I wish I could say about myself. And yet you hold yourself with such grace. And since meeting you, I've watched you let your own walls come crumbling down in pursuit of your own truth. You're wise like that. And now here we are, two people with such determination to work on themselves together. That's the beauty of relationships. And I wouldn't have known that if it wasn't for you. As for love, you've taught me what that's all about too. It's not so much the moon and the stars in the sky as I had once thought. It's the soil. It's the earth. It's providing the safety, the nourishment, and the space for your partner's roots to grow deep, so that they themselves develop the courage needed to reach for that sky and blossom. Love is feeling both held and free, and that is how I feel with you. So, as we stand here at the altar, about to commit our lives to each other, I feel shockingly and gloriously at ease. I feel calm and ready. I look at the foundation we have built and rebuilt over the past 4.5 years, and it is solid. The soil is firm. There's no one I'd rather take this leap of faith with, to grow with, evolve with, or to drink my morning decaf with forever than you. So let's do this thing.
Fantastic. Yep. Oh, man. Okay.
You got this, Wyatt.
Yeah, those are great. Okay. I'm gonna go through this now. We're gonna do it. Do you, Morgan, take Cody as your loving wife, to laugh with her, travel the world with her, support her through life's toughest moments, be proud of her, grow old with her, and find reasons to love her every day?
I do.
Do you, Cody, take Morgan as your loving husband, to laugh with him, travel the world with him, support him through life's toughest moments, be proud of him, grow old with him, and find new reasons to love him every day?
I do.
Okay, now the both of y'all. Will you, Cody and Morgan, be each other's partners and teammates from this day forward? Will you bring out the best in one another, share your happiest moments together, and love each other absolutely from this day forward?
We will.
Will.
Okay, now for the exchange of the rings. Thank you everyone for blessing these rings with all the positive juju. Cody and Morgan, let these rings not be just a reminder of your vows, but Cody and Morgan, let these rings not be a reminder of your vows, but your love for one another, but also the circle of family and friends that support you all along the way. Morgan, please place this ring upon your beloved's ring finger and repeat after me. Cody, I give you this ring
Cody, give you this ring
to symbolize
to symbolize
my ever-growing love for you,
my ever-growing love,
the courage it took to get us to this point,
courage it took to get us to this point,
and the gratitude that I will feel every day to call you my wife.
and the gratitude I will feel every day to call you my wife.
Cody? Morgan, I give you this ring
Morgan, I give you this ring
to symbolize
to symbolize
my ever-growing love for you,
my ever-growing love for you,
the courage it took us to get to this point,
courage it took us to get us to this point,
and the gratitude that I will feel every day to call you my husband.
and the gratitude I will feel every day to call you my husband.
Cody and Morgan, may your marriage bring you all the exquisite excitements a marriage should bring. May you need one another, but not out of weakness. May you want one another, but not out of lack. May you look for things to praise, say I love you often, and take no small notice of faults. May you have the happiness, and may you find it making one another happy. May you have love, and may you find it loving one another. Ladies and gentlemen, it is my great honor to be the first to introduce my sister Cody and my newest brother, Morgan, as husband and wife. Morgan, you may kiss the bride.